Hi everyone. Liverpool over these past few months has been taking part in a pilot scheme where you can hire an e-scooter. It's over 400 in the city. Now I know other cities and towns are taking part in similar schemes, however there's been quite an unfavourable reaction to this scheme from where I am in Liverpool. So today I'm going to explore this a little more. The company running this scheme in Liverpool is called Voi, V-O-I, and the app that they produce is simple to use. It even shows you where the nearest scooter is and its level of charge. But this is the first drawback. I'm having to walk probably about 20 minutes to get to my nearest one. It is a Sunday morning and I am on the outskirts of the scheme. However, that's a big drawback. The idea is to use them as a mode of transport to and from transport hubs and particularly hospitals. However, the people who I've seen using them aren't necessarily doctors or nurses. The costs aren't too bad either. They're £1 to unlock and then it's 20p per minute, but you can also get daily and monthly passes, and that's what I've done. I've just purchased a daily pass and it's £9.99. To hire an e-scooter, you need the minimum of a provisional license. However, when I've actually gone on the app and registered, there was nothing that actually made this check. So I'm suspecting that anyone could just get on and hire a scooter. Now, you also are advised to wear a helmet. I've got mine in my hand, ready to use. And they also advise you not to ride on the pavement. There is also a traffic school where it's a part of the app which allows people who may not have great road knowledge to actually go off and learn a little bit of theory. But again, it's not compulsory, there's not many checks to it. Now, here's the first one I've found. It doesn't actually look as though it's available to hire. I'm not sure what's going on with that. It looks as though it's already been hired. It's not showing up on the app. So we'll go off to the next one. Now, Voi do offer a discount if you park your scooter in a designated parking area. You get £1 off your journey, which is good. People have complained about them being left on the pavement like the one that we've just seen and walked past, but honestly, I don't think, in my experience, many of them have been parked too badly. There's still room for a pram or a pushchair to actually get past. But I must admit, they do look a little untidy. Here's my scooter at long last. Let's have a little look to see what you've got to do. This is the first time I've been on one, so this is a totally new experience. So if there's any problems, it's all natural. So it says here, scan to ride. Let's have a little go at this. Scan the QR code located on the Voi. There we go. Ah, interesting. It does say identify. Cool. So I've got to use my identification, so driving license. Now, luckily enough, I have brought it with me, so I'm just going to scan this. Upload photo. Take a selfie. Okay, take a selfie. Shall do. So I take it back. They do have some things in place that make certain that people have licenses. Now, how easy would this be to actually scam? I'm not sure whether this happens every single time, but it looks as though we're ready to go. So here we go. If I crash and die, and this is my last ever video, well, at least I've died trying. Right, let's not mess about. Let's go straight onto the roads. However, if you've got limited experience operating powered vehicles on the road, perhaps practice in a quiet car park or side road first. Oh, they're quite fast little things. It is right. Now I'm just going to have a little go at what the brakes are like. They're alright as well. Front and rear brakes That's all right. Now let's have a little nosy about. They must be the indicators, so I must have had my left signal on, so don't forget that. So that's obviously left. It's like a motorbike where you cancel. Okay, you get up to some decent speed. Primary position, don't ride too close to the gutter. And they're all right, to be honest. They're actually quicker than I thought. A little look over my shoulder just to make sure I know who's around me, keep really aware. And this is the big issue with when you're on a bike or on one of these e-scooters. Have you been seen? Yeah, the Vauxhall's all good, so I'm all fine. You are limited to 45 minutes of a ride. I know I've got unlimited rides, but I think what you have to do is then go off and find another scooter. So you're not hogging it all the time, which makes sense. They are designed, don't forget, as a way to get from maybe a place of work to a train station, or maybe to a hospital if you work there, so I can understand why you're only limited to 45 minutes. Early primary position after a little look over my shoulder. You do feel every bump. It's just like riding a bike, nice and relaxed with your hands, just enough just to control. Now I'm going to have a little go at the signals and turn left. Yeah, you get a fair bit of sort of like regenerative braking when you ease off the go pedal, so that's all good. Cancel my signal, forgot that. It's been a few years since I've ridden a motorbike as well. What the brakes like if I have to stop quick. Not brilliant, to be honest. So yeah, the signals don't self-cancel. If you are not a motorcyclist, you will not be used to that, I don't suspect, because most cars have self-cancelling indicators, but these scooters don't. So I'm going to stick mine on again. Let's have a little go with both brakes, see how quickly it stops. A bit better. So yeah, don't forget to use both, not just one or the other. Now, that situation, we've got no horn. So what else could you do in that scenario? Well, I was just ready to shout. So use your mouth as a horn. You haven't got a bell, like most cyclists should have, or all cyclists should have. So if you haven't got a bell, you can use your voice. Shout oi or something like that. So all in all, piece of cake really. No big deal. It's quite nice to be out in some nice weather. Everyone's been keeping distance to me as well. Now I'm going to try and plan my little space out around this park one. But looking over my shoulder, the problem is you can't signal, so you have to just take your space when you can. I wouldn't fancy riding one of these things with the state of the roads one-handed. But looks as though the vehicle behind was nice, but then passed really close in annoyance. No problem filtering, just make sure you do it safely. Now, getting out in front so it can be seen, but it was just quite interesting with the Range Rover there. Held him up for a little moment, even though the lights were on red, but then forces passed and he was knowing a world, 1.5 meters. So you've got to endure the same things as virtually every cyclist has to endure riding one of these things, unfortunately. Look left. Look super far when you're going around corners on anything with two wheels, whether it be a bike or a motorbike. If you look down at the floor, you'll end up on the floor. Let's turn left. I'm going to have a go at emerging. Yeah, we're good. Now this is interesting because this is a busy little junction. Let's see what it's like to emerge out onto a busy one. If you're in doubt, simple answer is don't bother. Plan your gap in advance. So get it going. Yeah, I'm good. And I'm going to turn right here as well. Cancel my signal. Back on again. And then let's sit and wait to do a right turn. Now again, this one's a little awkward because I'm the second in the queue. I'm going to try and make myself a little more visible to the car driver. But I'm going to take that road on the left in a moment. I've got to make sure that I'm going to be able to clear fairly rapidly because this second place in this queue can always cause issue with side to side. So I'm planning the space. Yeah, let's get out of there, checking shoulders, and then a little left signal to go down this road again. Check no one's catching you up. Let's see how people deal with priority. Is it because they're bigger, they're just going to force through? I'm going to plan to go after the micro. Thank you. Now let's see what this one does. I'm really by taking up my position. In fact, I'm going to give way. Come on through, buddy. That's all right, you was being good. Work together. No one's got priority because the cars are on both sides of the road, so do what you can to fix the problem. So, overall, how would I see these scooters? Oh, they're quite sharp over speed bumps. How would I see these scooters? Well, I've actually quite enjoyed going out on them. I thought that maybe I'd only use this as a way, for example, if I drop my car off for a service and then needed to get home, I'd maybe use one of these scooters, but I think I would be limited to when I would use one. The 20-minute walk that I had prior to actually finding the scooter that was available would probably put me off on using them, but if one was close and if I needed it, yeah, I probably would jump on one again. Would I have my helmet with me all the time? No. So again, there's a few things that aren't quite right. Not everyone's going to be using them in the way that I'm using them. I think really they create, oh, let's just see what this one does. Oh, we've got another one as well. I'm going to give way. And then I'm going to move and see what they do. So if you think about what I've just done, I've gone from a give way position out into this is the space that I would like to proceed down the road position. I've done this to positively show the Vauxhall from the other direction, who is yet to take up their position to come through the gap in between the two cars, that it's my turn to proceed. They're not travelling fast, they've had plenty of time to see my intentions and simply slow down and give way. I wouldn't have done anything different if I was driving my car, but what do you think they're going to do? Say again?
What?
Say again?
What are you doing?
I'm driving down the road.
You're driving towards a car.
So,
You need to get over onto that side of the road.
do I?
Yeah, I could have knocked you off then.
Did you see me?
Yes, I did, and you're on the wrong side of the road.
Do you know who has priority there?
You're on the wrong side of the
So,
road and you're holding up.
because you're a car, you think you can just go? Interesting. And that does show the problems when you need room to be safe. Car drivers just assume that they can just barrel through. So here's a little parking zone that I'm going to use. Let's get it up this curb and walk it to where we need to be. I'm just going to leave it somewhere safe. Hand ride done. So there you go, it says at the end, park with thought as well, which is quite nice. That's all good. To be honest, that last scenario sums it up. But that's something cyclists have to endure day after day, that you take a space that you need to use and motorists think that they have priority. So is that expected? To a certain extent, yes. Always be ready to give way, and sometimes you're going to have to do that. Rather than, I wouldn't say I forced the issue there, but I tried to give an example, if you like, on how some people actually treat cyclists and obviously the scooter riders, and that was a classic example. Now, if you're ever in doubt, just hold back. It was clear that that lady had seen me. It was clear that she wasn't going to crash into me, but she was obviously assuming that just because she had a car, she had priority. A lack of understanding of looking out and, well, sorting out the more vulnerable. I wouldn't say I'm more vulnerable, but in that scenario, don't go looking for that problem. Did I look for that problem? I suppose I did, to a certain extent. I'm holding my hands up there. However, I'm using this to document and really give people an idea of how cyclists and scooter riders can be treated. Nothing against that lady, she just needs teaching some different things. If you can, in those scenarios, just literally just give way like you saw me do a few times prior. Interesting. Overall experience pretty good. Would I use them many times? Probably not. But let me know what you do with these scooters in your city, in your town. Have you used them, and are there any problems that I've just actually shown on this video? Keep safe if you can. I'll see you soon.